Well, good morning. We're here with the Breakfast Club winners. This is our usual tradition before each game, and it's our pleasure this week to have a special guest, sort of, because it's his first time ever as a Breakfast Club winner. He won the lineman of the game award against Pottsville, and we have with us Tom Swaldy. How you doing, Tom?
Okay.
Tom is a kind of a special case in that Tom played football as a freshman and then didn't play as a sophomore and junior, and came back in his senior year, and he's having a fine year. And you were singled out in the Pottsville game. I know from announcing it from up on the roof and all. You had yourself a heck of a game as far as your assignments go and some good hits and all. Were you comfortable in the game? Did you feel you knew what was going on at each play?
Yes. Watching films, I basically knew what they were going to do. Just reading my keys.
Well, you've been coming on now. Again, you started playing football again this year for the first time, and you're a senior. And we've noticed again, from the Panther versus Walker game, Panther Valley game, that you seem to be getting stronger and stronger. Is that just the case? You're starting to get a feel for the game. You understand now each way you're supposed to be doing, and as far as mentally goes, and then physically, were you always that way? If physically you were confident you could do it that way, but not mentally.
Yes. I was green at the beginning, but I've been learning more and more every game, and I had to work really hard over the summer to get up to where I am now.
Well, you're, again, another special part about you would be, of all the players we see coming in here, most of them, and that because of necessity, go both ways. And you're a one-way starter. You just play defense for the most part. How does it feel for you, just as a defensive player, now that we've lost a big game last week, you got 3 games left? How does the defense and yourself look at these last 3 games?
Well, they're all going to be tough. They're going to be tough. I don't know what else.
Well, I mean, how's the attitude you feel of the defense? I mean, you guys now, you're looking at a team that for the most part will be 2-6, and obviously most people are going to say, well, they're not that good. How do you look at Blue Mountain?
They're going to be a tough team. They're always capable of beating you, so you're going to have to stop them on every play.
Oh, that's a great attitude. Listen, Tom, we thank you for coming by. We expect to see you again before the end of the season. Thanks a lot, and good luck tonight. Okay, we're here with the player of the game, and of course it's Dave Fantini. He had an excellent game, and as with Tom Swaley, it's a bit of a special case again for Dave because he had an outstanding game both offensively and defensively. Most of the time the player of the game is awarded the game ball for either outstanding defensive play or outstanding offensive play, but Dave was a consensus on both sides of the ball on Friday night or Saturday night against Pottsville. And that's quite an honor, Dave. You're in the offense now for the first time in a long time. How did that feel?
It felt good to run the ball a little bit. We all share it back there, me, Marcus, Nazi, and Chicatano.
Well, you were the leading ground gainer for Mount Carmel area on Saturday night against Pottsville. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. You play mostly the fullback position on offense, and as you were saying, you shuttle in and out. Now, we commented on it throughout the season that obviously that helps Mazzatesta because he's got 2 people that block in front who are fresh. You're not in on every play on offense, although you both play defensively all the time. Do you feel that's the same for both of you guys? You're a little bit fresher because you get a time off on the offense?
Yes, it benefits us too because we're not out of breath for defense, and we're pretty fresh for offense too.
Now, defensively, you had yourself one heck of a game. I mean, you were in the backfield 5 or 6 times untouched. Did you feel at Pottsville you were able to read them better, or you just were able to handle their center? How do you feel that went?
We did a lot of stunning. I think that had a lot to do with it. A lot of different twists and stuff like that. I think that's why I got in a lot.
Well, your special attribute as far as I think defensive goes is your quickness. Do you feel that throughout the whole season now that your quickness, that you're able to beat most guys in the line of scrimmage on the offense?
Yeah, that's mostly what it is. Usually when we go head up, I have a tough time getting in, but with our stunning, that's when I'm more, I get through the line better.
This is the second time I might add that you were here. You were here as a lineman of the game earlier in the season, which is an honor to see you 2 times. Let me ask you one last question. We had a tough loss last week against Pottsville, and obviously the team's going to be down a little bit, but you're facing a Blue Mountain team now, and you got West Hazel and Chickalimmy to go in the season. 3 big games as far as the fans are concerned. How do you feel the team is looking this week mentally, and what's going to be their reaction now to come into a Blue Mountain game tomorrow afternoon?
Well, the coaches, we went over some different drills, some new tackling drills and stuff this week, which we never did during the previous games. I think it's picked the team up a lot. I think we're really ready these next 3 weeks to go.
Oh, that sounds good. Listen, Dave, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you again. Good luck tonight. Okay, we have the WKMC TV player of the game, and as I told you last week, the WKMC TV player of the game is picked by myself, Bob Else, my partner in the broadcast booth, and also Jose Gonzalez on the sidelines as the stat man, because we feel he's got sort of an eyeball view of what's going on. Plus, he's keeping the stats, so he has a better idea of who's having what kind of a game. And the KMC player of the game for Pottsville is Doug Greco, and he had an outstanding game blocking on the line. I think you were graded at 62%. I looked up at Coach Patello's markings.
Yeah.
And that's quite an achievement for Coach Patello, I understand, when you get over 60.
Anywhere over 60% is really good.
We've seen you now, you've been a consistent blocker. You've been here as a lineman of the game before. You've been blocking consistently all season. You come up against a tough Pottsville team. But it seemed to us in the booth, and I know it seemed to all our fans, that you seem, yourself and the other members of your line, seemed to be able to handle Pottsville. They didn't seem like they were that tough. You were opening holes we seemed to be running on. Was that how you felt as the game progressed?
Yeah, we felt after our long drive in the first half, we could do, if we got in the right situation, we could drive on them. But we just didn't get the chance to have a long sustained drive. We got behind by a couple scores, and then we had to start throwing, and we never really had a chance to show what we could do on the ground, and that's our forte. And if we would have had a chance to stay on the ground and drive down, we might have won the game. But we got out of our game and had to pass and had to run some trick plays.
Unfortunately, yeah, we had to change our game plan after the second half when we had that long run against us, and that took us out of our strong point, as Doug mentioned. Now, as I asked these other two guys, and again, the concern here is that you guys, you're a good team. You lost a tough game, a game which could have went either way, to tell you the truth. You could have won that game just as easily as lost it. You weren't outstatted or anything like that. You were close to Pottsville in every category and ahead in some. But now we look at a Blue Mountain team followed by West Hazen and Chickalimi. How do you feel the team's going to react to these next three games? You're still in the hunt for a wild card playoff game. You're also in a district playoff hunt. Is the attitude back? I know how tough it is for kids to get ready after a loss like that. How do you feel it's going to happen?
Well, usually the attitude is down after you lose a game of that magnitude, but this week I think we had one of our best weeks of practice all year, if not our best. We did a lot of hitting in practice, and the spirit was up because everybody knows we're still in it, and we're not going to give up. If we get another shot, we're not going to let it slip through our hands this time.
Well, that's certainly good to hear. Listen, thanks for coming down, Doug. Good luck tomorrow, and we expect to see you again here soon. Thank you. Okay, we had Coach Dimnick here before the Blue Mountain game, and we'll go to our usual first question. Fill us in on the injury report for this game.
Well, at this time it appears Bobby Dell was the only one. Bobby played last week against Pottsville, but the knee, I guess he overworked it. It wasn't quite right for him, and as a result, we're going to have to sit him out this week. He may get in just to snap the ball, maybe on an extra point, hopefully, and hopefully we'll score and be able to. He'll get in there for the extra point and maybe punts, but we're going to try to keep him out of it all possible.
Well, who will be his replacement? Who takes his place on the line then?
Well, right now it looks like Johnny Motto, who has been on a team now for a couple of years and had no experience, playing football until he came out 2 years ago, and he looked pretty good in practice. So he'll probably get the nod to start there, and if he holds up in there, he'll stay in. But we're going to give him an opportunity. And if he doesn't, if he can't handle it, then Mike Kogel and Mike Fantana-Rose will alternate.
Move everybody over. All right, let's go back one moment now to the Pottsville game. Now, it was a tough defeat, of course. It had some bad breaks, both in officiating, and we made some of our own bad breaks throughout the game. We talked with the kids, and it was our impression in the booth and a lot of the fans that we were never out of the game, although we lost 23-6, that we were in the game the whole time, that we actually maybe outplayed Pottsville for a good 2.5 quarters of the game. Was that your impression on the sidelines where you were?
Well, I don't think there's any question that, we were in the game right down until they got that, when we needed what did we need? When they scored their 23rd point. Up until that point, we were still, very much in the game. Although I think we did lose some of our intensity, when they broke that the touchdown on the second play of the second half. That kind of, put a pin in there and took a little of the air out, and we had to pick ourselves up. It was pretty tough, but we still were in a ball game.
Okay, we go into a Blue Mountain game, which again, they don't have a great record, and most people are going to perceive them as being somewhat of a poor team. But you know from experience that even with a poor team, Blue Mountain's always played us tough. They have a rivalry there between them and us in that Blue Mountain's not especially fond of Mount Carmel area for some reason. You feel that it'll be a tough game tomorrow as far as hard hitting, that kind of game? Are you afraid of that, for the team right now?
No, I'm not worried about the hard hitting. I wish it would be a hard hitting game because I think we did some hard hitting this week ourselves, and I think we're ready for something like that. If they would come out and be a hard hitting team, we might respond a lot better than if they aren't hard hitting. My concern is, it's a Saturday afternoon game. We're down after a tough loss to Pottsville, and of course we're playing a team that's got a losing record. That doesn't help. So I'm just worried about how up our kids are going to be for the game.
Now, we come in, and again, you're just saying, you come into a game like this. Obviously, it was a tough loss for them. They were up for that game. They look at Blue Mountain. I know it's hard to read their minds. You've said that over and over. You can't tell their attitude until probably the game starts. But when you got a week like this, we're in between, you're going to play a Saturday game, which gives you an extra day of practice. Do you do anything differently? I mean, do you handle them any differently in how you coach them during the week, or maybe things you do? Or is it just business as usual and hope they're ready for the game on Saturday?
Well, it's a little bit more than business as usual. The thing we have to do is, we come off a very, very tough loss, and it destroyed our chances for winning the Southern Division Championship. Now we got to get them back up and get them in the right frame of mind to play football again, so that there is a long shot that we could get into playoffs as a wild card. So we've got to keep the spirits high and try to motivate them and play good football. And we will, provided we win our last 3 games, make the district playoffs. So, our playoff chances aren't dead. They're alive, but so we've got to get these kids back up and ready to play, and we can't dwell. We dwell on the loss on Monday, Sunday to ourselves, among the coaches, Monday to the kids. We got to pound it into the kids, that the reasons why we lost, it's the kids and it's the coaches, everything along the line. There's no one person could be blamed for the game. And then Tuesday we got to go back to work and get them ready to play a football game.
Okay, Coach. Good luck tomorrow afternoon. Bring back a big win for us, and we'll hope for the rest of the season.
We'll certainly try.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania for today's game between the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes and the Blue Mountain Eagles. Well, we're about ready for the kickoff, and it looks like it should be a pretty easy game for the Tornadoes, but who knows?
You don't like to say that, but on paper it should be. That's just the way it stacks up to be.
Mazatesta with the ball, breaks up the middle. He's at the 50, the 40, one man left to break him down, and he gets him right about the 28-yard line, and what a run for Tony Maz.
Well, we've been watching Mazatesta now closely in the Pottsville game, and again here in a moment or two when we find out how many yards that was. He is very close to several records, as we stated at Pottsville, and we're going to keep you updated on that as soon as we see how many yards this was. I'm sure he either broke one or came very close to Zavarick's record on that kickoff return.
Flag on the play. The refs are talking to the center. I'm not sure what happened on that play. Nobody looked like they were lined up offside, but it looks like they're calling a procedure penalty against the Red Tornadoes.
They're probably saying that he moved the ball. Now, every center that you're going to see come up to the ball, because every referee puts the ball down. You see the way the laces are up.
Right.
Every center is going to turn the ball. That's just the way he centers the ball. I don't understand the call at all there.
Chicatano in motion, takes the pitch, going around the left side, finds a little hole up the middle and gains about 4 or 5 yards.
That's the first time we saw a call like that on the entire season, on the center actually, for moving the ball.
Ball resting on the Eagles' 25-yard line, and there's another flag on the play.
He's gonna call that again.
I think one thing that's happening too is we were on the field before the game, and it is really rough out there, and that ball can be in a different angle and resting there funny for Costello. So we can't blame Jeff for that.
No, that's something I want to ask Coach Dimnick though before the next game is exactly what that call was and what they were looking at.
Weslowski drops. Oh, nice play made in there by the interior line of Blue Mountain.
And that's a big number 76. Got a paw up there and knocked a pass down. He's a large economy-sized guy out there.
Brian Corelli, 6'1", 202 pounds. Wisłowski rolls again, looking to his right. Hits Shikatano. He makes it to the 20 and down right about on the 16-yard line.
A flag flew there at the last moment. I see it on the field there. I don't know what they're going to call here.
It was against the Tornadoes, and they did move them back to the 32-yard line. Wisłowski fakes the handoff to Mazzatesta, looking deep over the middle, hits John Quinn, and he's down to about the 12-yard line. Nice reception for JQ.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice play all around. And again, as the season progressed, you cannot say enough about Wisłowski's passing. He is really a poised young man back there when he goes back to pass, and he rifles that ball in now.
Mazzatesta, second back through, touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Nice play.
Maz just keeps continuing to pile up the yardage, the TDs, the records. He's really a fabulous back, and it's been a joy to watch him in his career here at Mount Carmel. We have 2 or possibly 3 or 4 more games left, hopefully, but he has really been a joy to watch.
Tornadoes appear they're going for, well, they were setting up to kick the ball there, and then you saw Wisłowski come in without changing his shoe. He rolls to the left, takes the ball himself, tucks it away, and goes in for the 2 points.
Yeah, that was a good play in his part. He read at the line of scrimmage. He saw what was happening. He saw his receiver wasn't as open as he'd like. There was a lane open. He cut back and scored easily.
Early in the first quarter, the score, the Red Tornadoes 8, the Eagles 0. Wisłowski will place the ball and kick for the Red Tornadoes. Nice high kick, as Wisłowski's been hitting them all year. Fumbled there, picked up by the up back, and he breaks down the sideline. Nice tackle made in there by Fantini. And
Wisłowski getting off the pile. That play was basically set up by the fumble. As you see in any pro and college, guy fumbles the ball, it screws up your lanes, you change a little bit, and you have a lane sometimes open up where you wouldn't necessarily have it. And he gained some good yardage on that kick return.
Madeira is a 6'1" quarterback for the Eagles. He hands off up the middle to number 44, Derek Roeder. Nice stop made in there by number 64, Kogut.
Now, Kogut's, he's really been a surprise. He has been, and it's great to see him playing such good football as a freshman.
Madeira fakes. It's an end around. Or was that a flank? That might be that double T we're talking about. It looks like an end coming around, but it isn't.
The offense you're looking at here is a variation of the wing T, which is a double T. Actually, you see 2 men on the wing position on each side. Mount Carmel has not seen that offense this year so far. And I look at their defense, and obviously either they don't think it presents much of a problem or they're confident they can stop it. They've changed nothing in their defense. They're attacking it the same way they have all the other offenses.
That's it right there.
Yeah, you're seeing it. Now you see the man coming in motion off the wing formation. There's several variations of it. Sometimes I think you're going to see that wingman line up as a flanker even farther out than he would be in the wing. Sometimes he comes back in motion. There's different variations, but it's basically just the wing T offense.
Quinn and Kogut in on that last stop. Madeira sets his Eagles. Fakes up the middle, drops back, lobs a long one. Way down there is number, we're missing his number from up here. Probably 36, Blair Strasser.
Yeah, that was 36.
Strasser has been the T back over there.
There was some good faking on Blue Mountain's part that time. They caught us moving towards the run, and that time they got to pass over the defensive back's head.
First down and goal to go for the Eagles. And they don't look like they made it on that play. They're stopped right about the 1-yard line.
Mount Carmel's had some great goal line stands this year, and this could be another one right here.
Second down for the Eagles. Madeira. Ooh.
He still didn't get in there.
Number 36, Blair Strasser, hit right there on the line.
Good line play. Excellent penetration by the line on that, and that's exactly what you look for in a goal line situation. You can see they got the back actually before he hit the line of scrimmage. And even had they not, there was absolutely no hole or little crease opening up at all.
Third down and goal to go for the Eagles. Up the middle to Roeder, and he's in for the touchdown. The extra point try. Madeira looking to his right, going for the corner, and
Good
a
hit.
major league hit in there by number.
That was Startzel, I'm sure, over there, way in the corner, but I think it was Startzel that stopped him. That was a nice play there. Well, as we said, on paper, Blue Mountain should not be that hard of a game, but you take any team a little bit lightly, and that's what happens. Now they're in the game here. You got an 8-6 ball game in front of you, and Mount Carmel's now got to put their nose onto the grindstone and start playing tough.
They definitely have the Tornadoes thinking that they can maybe run the ball and throw the ball against them. Kick again, and boy, they're kicking right at Maz. They're not afraid of him. He's
They
up to
should
the
be.
20, the 25, the 30, zigs in there and brings it up around the 38-yard line. And I can't believe a team like this would kick right at Mazatesta.
Well, that's not smart football. I'm
No,
going to say that
not at
right
all.
now. Not after what he did on the opening kickoff to begin with, let alone what he's done throughout his career in the year this year.
First down, Red Tornadoes. Weslowski back to pass. Broken up by a Blue Mountain defender, but the second defender was hanging all over Alan Kowaleski there. I'm not too sure that wasn't interference.
Yeah, well, we don't get many calls like
No,
that.
that's true.
They almost always go the other way.
Second down, Red Tornadoes. Beautiful afternoon here in Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania. Chicatano in motion. The pitch is back to him. Coming this right side. Breaks it up through the middle. Finds a nice hole there.
Yeah, it was good running there.
And brings it up right about to the 42-yard line.
Again, we see Chicatano more involved in the offense as the year progressed, and that's good because Chicatano is a fine back. He's got a lot of speed. He's not as big as the other guys, but he's got a lot of speed, and that makes up for it.
Weslowski handed off to Fantini, and boy, he was snuffed right there. The line just came up and met him hard.
Number 14, Dave Wesolowski in conservation. 36.
Weslowski, no, that's Bullock back to punt. It's a nice punt, rolling down. Tornadoes down there to cover it, Marcus Startzel. And somebody
Somebody
came in
snuck
and
in
got
there
it
on him before he got down. Ladies and gentlemen, we do want to point out that on Mazatesta's opening kickoff return of 61 yards, he broke the career kickoff return record held by Bob Zavaric. Tony Mazatesta now has 989 yards on kickoff returns. He is now first. Zavaric is at 918 yards. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a major accomplishment for a young man in Mount Carmel area football.
There have been so many great running backs, and for someone to do that, it's just an outstanding record for him.
Well, I know myself from watching Zavaric, and I thought there was not a finer all-around athlete than Bobby Zavaric when he played here. And when you're sitting in the stands and you think to yourself, no one will ever do this. No one can ever beat that. And Mazatesta did it. It is truly a testament to a great football player.
And 2 more games to go to add on to his record. Third down for the Eagles here, Warren. And they're snuffed right in there by Swaldy. Tried to come through his defensive end position, and he held him tight.
Well, Swaldy was our Breakfast Club winner for the last game, and he picked up here right where he left off.
Madera. Oh, boy, and the Tornado defense is getting tough. Startzel and Fantini both in on that tackle.
And I'll tell you, it's a testament to Swaldy on what type of athlete he is, because as a kid, as we discussed with him before the game, didn't play his sophomore or junior year, didn't play Atlanta football, never was on a team, comes back his senior year, becomes a starter, and not only that, but he's a standout starter. I mean, he's really made a name for himself here.
He played some nice defensive end this year, and I think we have a lot to look forward to. Blue Mountain back to kick. Mazatesta gets it, misses one block, and boy, he's taking it down the sideline, Warren. He's going to break through there.
Unbelievable.
Touchdown,
That is,
Tony Mazatesta.
Unbelievable.
Oh, boy, and they're kicking right to him. Keep doing it, Blue Mountain. Let's see what we can run up
Now,
on you.
That's stupid football there. They got no one to blame but themselves there. I don't understand what they're thinking.
Red Tornadoes going for 2. Weslowski rolls, looks in the corner for John Quinn. 2 points. Red Tornadoes.
And ladies and gentlemen, that kick return there, that punt return, Mazatesta, that was 48 yards for a touchdown. He just broke the total kick return. That's both punts and kickoffs, which was also held by Zavaric. Zavaric had 1,538 yards. Mazatesta now has 1,580 yards, and that is just an absolutely phenomenal thing to have happen to a young man here. I just can't believe how well this man has done in his career at Mount Carmel area. And the thing about you'll see about Mazatesta is he's the kind of kid that kind of snuck up on you with these records.
That's right.
Zavaric was sort of a flashier back, with the speed, and you look forward to him doing that Mazzatesta, you wonder sometimes he's more of a plodding back, a bull back, but here he goes breaking those records.
Great play in there by Chuz. Machuzak saw the quarterback, read it from his position, and went right in and got him. Second down for the Blue Mountain Eagles. Hands off up the middle. Nice hole there, but holding his ground was number 29, Joe Darrop, and he makes the tackle.
44, Derek Rader.
Eagles have a man in motion. Try it up the middle again. Kogut made the initial stop in there. He held the tackle up, and then just a host of Tornadoes got in there on the tackle.
There's just nothing doing on the line, and that's the way it's been pretty much going for everybody this year against Mount Carmel. The Tornadoes are tough on the line play. That's their hallmark on defense. Their line play, and you got the two tough linebackers still in there, and of course the defensive backfield has been outstanding this year.
Holding call against the Eagles on that last play. Madera up the middle again. Oh, stuffed in there by number 36, Marcus Startzel. Just holding right there at his linebacker position, and he got him coming right in.
You know, we announcing these games now since the beginning, and I think it's not a football game if you haven't 10, 12, or 14 times said stuffed in there by Marcus Startzel. That's a line you just use repeatedly.
Well, I think we can say a total of 68. Oh, great play, Dave Wisłowski. That was a touchdown. Had he not jumped and made that defensive play.
Good play. Again, he's made those plays throughout the year on defense.
Startzel has a total of 68 tackles, 32 assisted and 36 unassisted. That's good football. Madera back to pass. Coming in there on the rush is Alan Kovaleski, and he's got him.
That play had no chance.
Startzel and Kovaleski were both there,
there
but
was no
Covey made the
chance.
rundown.
I don't know what their line was thinking there, but they were not watching what was going on. The quarterback did the best thing possible there to hit the ground.
End of the first quarter. The score, the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 16, the Blue Mountain Eagles 6. And the Eagles are in a tough position here, Warren. They do a shift to punt, and someone jumped offside over on the right side of the Tornadoes line.
You know, that was a design play, and it worked exactly the way it was designed because it pulled us offside. That's exactly what they were trying to do.
Just like they're going to do it again. There it is again. Tornadoes are smart enough to hold the second time. They have got to kick this ball away from Mazzatesta and Chicatano. Boy, he sent it right down the well. He kicked it over their heads.
Okay, yeah, good kick there.
Big kick. Taken by Mazzatesta, going to the right side of the line. And a nice stop made in there by number 11, Mark Miller of the Eagles. But they look like they're challenging our speedsters, aren't they?
Well, so far, it's cost them. I don't understand the challenge at all. That's a pretty dumb challenge.
Wisłowski up the middle. Mazzatesta still moving those legs, and boy, he keeps grinding them out.
He is just so tough to bring down.
Second down for the Red Tornadoes. The ball right on the 46-yard line. Official timeout here. Okay, Tornadoes are set and ready on second down. Chicatano in motion. The pitch is back to him. Nice blocking out in front of him. He's to the 49, about to the 47-yard line.
He made some nice moves there to get around the end. You know, he's that type of a back. You used to, Mazzatesta there would have just slammed right in the guy and knocked him over and ran through him. Whereas Chicatano's a completely different back. He makes a little juke with his hips, and he's around the guy before he gets a hand on him.
Chicatano in motion again, but up the middle this time. And I'm not too sure who was carrying the ball.
No, I didn't see that either. It might be Fantini. I'm not sure.
22, Mike Hawkins.
Yeah.
22,
yeah.
Hawkins.
That was Hawkins.
It was
the
Mike
new guy
Hawkins.
in there.
Okay. Hawkins got the first down. Wisłowski on the pitch. Dave Fantini, good for about 3-yard gain.
Now, this Hawkins kid, we've heard a lot at Breakfast Club and so on about him and the JVs. He's made a name for himself there, and they speak very highly of him and expect big things out of him. Maybe this might be the game where we might see something come here.
Wisłowski pitches to Mazatesta around the right side to the 30, to the 25. He's down around the 22-yard line. And that's just a tough play to stop.
I think anytime he touches the ball, it's a tough play to stop,
that's
to tell you
true.
the truth, Bob. He's just unbelievable.
First down, Red Tornadoes driving again. Score 16-6. We're in the second quarter. Right up the middle. Hawkins carrying the ball, and boy, that was a pretty run.
There you see why they speak so highly about the young man. That was right there is a testament to it, an example of it. He's as good a runner as anyone we have, just about.
First down and goal to go for the Red Tornadoes on the 6-yard line. Up the middle to Marcus Startzel, and he's good for about a 2-yard gain.
It'll be interesting to watch this Hawkins kid if he gets a lot of playing time today to see what he's like out there against a varsity team.
Wisłowski to Marcus Startzel, touchdown, Red Tornadoes. That was just a big hole right over tackle.
Yeah, that's
over on Dougie Greco's side, and I think Motto's over on that right side today.
Yeah,
John
we
Motto
have
making his first start.
a new guy in there, number 79, playing, and John, of course, is a senior. He hasn't seen a lot of playing time in his career, but this is a big game for him.
Wisłowski over the same play to Quinn, over in the corner of the end zone for the 2 points, and the Tornadoes look tough. The score was 7 minutes left in this first half. Mount Carmel 24, Blue Mountain 6.
It's good to see a kid like John Motto get into a game like this, being a senior. And it was good to see the confidence that Coach showed him by running right at him for a touchdown that time, right over him.
Wisłowski, boy, he's kicking some beautiful balls today. Falls right about on the 7-yard line. Right up the middle comes the Blue Mountain defender. He was hit hard in there by Shedleski,
was.
and he didn't drop. And it had to be finished off by number 81,
Steve
Koch.
Steve Koch made the final tackle, but that was good hard-nosed running there. He got a lot of hits, but nobody got their arms
That's
around
right.
him.
He took a shot. First down, Blue Mountain,
Oh.
and there's our little rock.
You've seen that play 100 times
Dave
this year.
Fantini coming in from his nose guard position on a beautiful tackle.
There's just not much more you can say about that young man and the way he plays that position.
Second down, about 12 for Blue Mountain, and there goes the quarterback again. Marcus Startzel in on that blitz. That was a beautiful play by the linebacker.
I think on defense we're just taking turns now, right? We must be deciding that in the huddle.
Interception
That's an
by
interception.
John Quinn.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Red Tornadoes.
He's going to take it in. Good defensive play, good position. Read the ball. We looked at the quarterback, was reading him, read the ball, and took it in for a touchdown. Good play.
Mount Carmel attempting the extra point, and the kick is up, and it's good.
Well, we were a little concerned that we might be taking Blue Mountain lightly here, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for the rest of the game. It's already 31-6 here with some time left to go, even in the second quarter. So,
Well, it's time for the Tornadoes to be able to get. Boy, there's a loose ball bouncing around, picked up down there by one of the Blue Mountain backs, and hit in by Shaleski this time, and he put his arms around him that time.
this time he brought it down.
He wasn't
Brian,
going to give him the shot. that
Brian
time.
didn't fool around on that one.
I'll tell you, it's a tough defense for these guys to play against. There's
is-
Fantini and Swaldy in there, and then a host of Red Tornadoes.
Blue Mountain's got to be scratching their head right now, trying to figure out what's going wrong here. Their line isn't doing anything. And there's no one blocking on the line of scrimmage for Blue Mountain at this time, and we're beating them off the ball. We're beating the count. They're not looking too well at all. It's just getting worse too.
44, Derek Roeder, the ball carrier. Nice play made in there by Fantini. Again, right up the middle.
I mean, Blue Mountain's not adjusting to anything. We're slanting. We're sending Fantini on either side of the center. Sometimes you're seeing the ends either pinch in or one end come in. They're not picking any of it up. Nothing.
Third down for Blue Mountain. Back to Roeder. He's looking to find a hole, and it wasn't there.
No, I mean he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that was the best play of the series. So they're not doing anything they should be doing right now offensively. And again, if you're not sharp offensively with Mount Carmel area, you're going to be in big time trouble because they can put the pressure on you on defense. They've done it to every single team they've played so far, and this team just seems a little bit worse at it, I guess. I mean, their best play so far is this line up to kick and try and draw you offside. Is maybe
Ooh, almost blocked in there. Oh, penalty flag. It looks like roughing the kicker against the Red Tornadoes.
poor kick, but he was rushed hard and then hit.
That was very close to being blocked.
Well, the bright side here is that'll be probably the best offensive play of the half.
Could be their biggest gainer
for
this
the Eagles
second
right
quarter.
now.
First down, Blue Mountain.
And there we have a hole.
Nice tackle made in there. Weslowski was on the bottom. I'm not sure who is.
There was several of them there. Who I was watching was Joe Greco on that play.
This afternoon sun has a rough time on the glare of these uniforms. Oh, nice interception made by Joe Greco, and he's knocked out of bounds. Beautiful play. Joe takes it right to the 38-yard line.
He looks so much like his father when you see him on the field like that, number 5. Great play there.
Hand just came up in the air and pulled it down. He pulled that pass down with one hand.
We might add that number 5 out there, Joe Greco's a freshman.
Weslowski pitches to Mazzatesta. Nice cut made in there. But he's stopped by number 88 of the Blue Mountain team, Chris Mattis.
You saw on that play one of the guys out there ahead of a block him was number 56, Rocco Chicatano's on the line now from Mount Carmel area. I assume you're going to see a lot of different players playing now. I'm sure in the second half even more, with the score so high, and that's a great thing to see. You give these starters some rest. They don't get banged up, but more importantly, you give those kids some important playing times that they'll use down further in this year and again next year.
Weslowski fakes the Mazzatesta, throws a pass over the middle, complete to number 21, Bobby Chicatano. Nice pass play there.
I think Mount Carmel can basically have its way now. I mean, they're going to run any play they feel like, and it's probably going to pick up yards.
Weslowski, Chicatano.
Just got out of bounds. Couldn't stay in. Blue Mountain is really back on its heels right now, and it's too bad.
Weslowski looking back, throwing deep into the end zone, but it just goes over the head of Chicatano.
So we would ask you to stay tuned at halftime. We don't have our regular halftime feature, but we have something I think is just as important and just as entertaining. You're going to see the Mount Carmel Area High School Marching Mounties. The band was in competition in Bloomsburg over the weekend, and you're going to get a glimpse of those people at halftime, and you can't say enough about them. They work certainly as hard and probably harder than some of the athletes as far as time put in, and as your career at playing whatever instrument it is, you start out so young and work your way to a senior. So it's great to give them some time on TV, and we hope you all tune in and watch them because they really are an excellent bunch of kids.
Nice play to Mazzatesta. It was just everybody moved to the left. Mazzatesta stayed over to the right side, took a screen, and came down through. I think we have to say Bernie Steller has done a heck of a job with the band.
Yeah, the band is really it's really having a fine season, and you can't say enough about those kids. They've had some setbacks with band leaders leaving at the last minute and all. They've gone through some pretty tough times, and they've kept their heads up, and they're really a fine marching unit. They're a joy to watch. I know I get to see them all the time march past my house. I got one of the big things in my life, so that's the advantage of living on 3rd Street.
Second down, Red Tornadoes. Mazzatesta knocked out of bounds right about the 14-yard line.
But this is going to take a lot of heat off you and I when we get a lot of those band parents and we see the people on the street saying, "Why don't you ever show that band at halftime?"
They'll be on.
You are going to see the band at halftime today.
Right. I thought
about.
It was a touchdown.
Just about there.
Kovalevsky had the ball right in the middle there, and there were 2 defenders knocked it out of his hands. Coming down to the end of the half here. Weslowski pitches back to Mazzatesta, coming around the right side, touchdown, Red Tornadoes.
Well, this game is basically out of hand right now. Blue Mountain obviously isn't going to come back and beat us. I can say that with some authority right now. They're not a well-disciplined team as far as running plays and their defense and all.
The extra point try just went off to the right side. With 10 seconds remaining in half, the score, the Red Tornadoes 37, the Eagles 6.
Yeah, this won't be a highlight film for the Blue Mountain
No,
Eagles.
not at
certainly.
all. This will be about the last play of the half. And that should about wrap it up.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get one more play in here if they call a timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first half. Carmel area marching band.
Mount Carmel Area High School Marching Band, you may enter the field for competition. marching band. And now this special announcement from Tournament of Bands. The National Judges Association, in conjunction with the Tournament of Bands, presents one of the greatest marching band spectaculars in the United States, the Atlantic Coast Championships. These championships, on November the 11th and 12th, at the new Lackawanna County Stadium outside of Scranton, offer 80...
Well, Bob, we have the halftime stats, which you'll run down, and of course they're going to be somewhat lopsided, considering the way the game has gone. Mount Carmel rushed the ball 16 times for a total of 108 yards. They passed it 3 times out of 10 for a total of 57 yards. Individually, Mazzatesta rushed 7 times for 49 yards. Chicatano 3 for 22. Fantini had 2 rushes for 10 yards. Hawkins 2 rushes for 20 yards, and Starksville 2 rushes for 7 yards. In the reception department, Quinn was 1 for 20. Chicatano caught 1 pass for 18 yards, and Mazzatesta 1 for 19 yards. In the first down department, Mount Carmel had 8, and Blue Mountain had 4. But it's a little deceiving. Blue Mountain rushing total, they rushed the ball 19 times for a total of 6 yards, Bob. So that was pretty indicative of the score at halftime. Plus their passing was only 1 of 5 for 35 yards. But of course, the big news in statistics here at halftime is, again, let me run down Mazzatesta. On Mazzatesta's opening kickoff return, he ran 61 yards. He broke the career kickoff return, which was set by Bob Zavarik. Bob Zavarik had 918 yards. Mazzatesta now has 989 yards with 2 regular season games to play. Following that, he took a punt return, 48 yards for a touchdown, in which he also broke a second record. And that's the total kick return. That's punts and kickoffs. He broke that record, which was also held by Bob Zavarik. Zavarik had 1,538 yards. Mazzatesta now has 1,580 yards again with 2 games to play. In the first half, to give you an idea of how well Mazzatesta played, the first half in all-purpose yards, he had 202 all-purpose yards. He ran for 49 yards. He received for 19 yards. He had a punt return for the total of 52 yards and a kickoff of 82. So there you see his all-purpose yards and kickoffs and punt returns. It's just phenomenal. 202 yards, Bob, you're talking in one half of football. Records that were broke, which I know a lot of Mount Carmel fans are going to say to themselves, I just didn't think they could be broken. Zavarik was that good of an athlete, and here you have Mazzatesta coming by and just setting records. Now we're going to say the same thing. I just don't think Mazzatesta's records can be broken now. And of course records are made to be broken, obviously, but this is really a phenomenal athlete. It's been a joy, and I know every fan in Mount Carmel who's seen a game either on TV here or live in person, but we'll say the same thing. He is just a great all-around athlete, and he's a fine young man. We've interviewed him several times. You've spoken with him throughout the season. Great kid.
I think it's like you said earlier in the first half too, is that Mazzatesta did it in a quiet way. It was a way that we weren't ready for Jose to come to us and say, hey, this time he has a chance of breaking it, and he did. And boy, it's just amazing to think of the other people that are under him, not just Zavarik, but the Bobby Veaches, the Diminiks, everybody that's under him, that he now holds this Mount Carmel school record, and having 2 more games yet to add on to that.
Well, we don't know at this point. He rushed for 49 yards now. I don't know the totals. Again, Jose will give us that during the week. But it looks very much like in 2 games that he's going to be now second to Gary Dimmick. Now, he won't be able to surpass Gary, obviously, because Gary's numbers they're unbelievable.
Right,
we ran them by for you at a halftime show one time. But you're talking about Hynoski here, Veach, Aaronsfield, Niglio, some of the great runners we've had that have put big numbers up as far as yardage gained. And here comes Mazzatesta, and I'm sure with 2 games to play, I'm sure he's got to be, I think, third now probably. You're going to see him move into second place all-time, in all-time Mount Carmel Area High School, rushing history. And that is certainly an accomplishment that, you got to, there's not enough you can say about it, really. There's no way to really put it in perspective until you think about it for a while, and look back on it. But a fine young man. He certainly deserves everything that's coming his way now as far as accolades go.
Well, we're here at halftime, and we'll be back for the start of the second half in just a moment. We're about ready to start the second half here, Warren, and it looks like it's one of those blowout games, but an opportunity for a lot of the younger Tornadoes to get in and play.
Yeah, those kids, this is no blowout game. It's an opportunity for them to win and show what they can do, get some playing time against a varsity squad, and maybe leave an impression on the coaching staff for next year when they're seniors and juniors themselves. So you're going to see a lot of hard hitting along with a lot of new numbers, I think, in the second half.
What'll be great is if we can pick the numbers out.
Yeah, we're going to have to pay special attention from here on in.
Jason Fantini kicked the ball.
Oh, goodness.
Jason Fantini's in there, and so is Joe Greco, and Joe Greco recovers the fumble. Jeremy Blossi was in there, number 1. We'll just try to I think rather than doing a play-by-play, we'll try to pick out who's in there.
Blue Mountain, they came out in the second half, and I don't even want to think about what could be going through their minds right now.
Shidleski, the quarterback for the Red Tornadoes, hands off up the middle to Fantini. That's Jason Fantini, the brother of David. And he's good for about a 5-yard gain.
And I'll tell you, except for the numbers, 32 and 47, there's absolutely no difference in those two kids. They look the same, they run the same.
And there's Hawkins up the middle, off tackle. He makes a nice play in there. Motto's still in the game at tackle.
I would imagine we'll probably see Motto play the whole game. I don't think he'll be coming out.
Shidleski pitches out to Hawkins, going around the right side, still keeping his feet moving, and makes a very nice run down to about the 9-yard line.
I see number 70 in there, Scott Paul. Scott Paul's a sophomore. He's now on the line for Mount Carmel area. Again, you'll be seeing a lot of new players, I'm sure, as the half progresses here.
Fantini up the middle. I think it's good enough for a first down.
Steve Koch is in there now.
Eric Geary at center instead of Jeff Costello.
One of the guys, as I stated in the first half, one of the guys you want to watch is this Hawkins kid. He's comes highly touted from the coaching staff.
Hawkins up the middle, good down to about the 1-yard line.
And he's running well. He really is. He's showing us some stuff right now.
Shidleski to Hawkins, through the middle, touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Nice run.
I don't know where this game's going to end at as far as the scoring goes. I don't think Blue Mountain's capable of stopping us at all, and I don't think they're capable of doing anything on their own.
Trying the extra point is number 47, Jason Fantini. Snaps down, the kick's up. And it's good.
He does a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
Nice play, Jason.
Multi-talented athlete there.
44 Red Tornadoes, 6 Blue Mountain Eagles. Fantini kicking off again for the Red Tornadoes. Nice kick. Back to about the 15-yard line. Number 81, Catch hanging on. Number 1, Blossi. And number 44, Jamie Bullock in on the tackle. Eagles look like they're sticking with their first-string offense. Up the middle, nice stop made in there.
Yeah, well, they're sticking with their first
number 47
first team
Fantini.
offense, and it pretty much is picking up where it left off in the first half too.
Second down for the Eagles. Going around the left side, and he slips over there, but covered by number 70, Scott Paul.
You see Fantana Rosa now into the game for Mount Carmel on defense.
Ooh, nice stop in there by number 29, Joe Darrop.
Darrop had a nice stick there, and he's
had a couple this game.
He's a hard hitter. I mean, every game he's in, he puts a helmet on somebody. You like to see that from a young man. He plays hard-nosed football when he's out there.
Eagles shift into their punt formation. Darrop goes in. Ball taken by Joe Greco and run out by number 11, Mark Miller. Get that one sun reflection on there. You can't see any numbers whatsoever.
The white uniforms, the
Boy,
jerseys are shiny.
there's some second effort by Mike Hawkins. He got through the line, and it would have been stopped there, and he picked up an extra 5 yards on his own. Second down and about 3 for the Red Tornadoes. Shedleski hands off in the middle there, and still fighting. Looks like number 47 Fantini.
I see number 61's in the Tornado lineup. That's Jim Fry, and he's a sophomore. Seeing a lot of sophomores playing in there right now, and sprinkled with a good portion of freshmen actually too. That's good to see, because those are the kids you're going to be watching 2 and 3 years down the line here. Oh, we dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball on the exchange between Shedleski and Hawkins, and we'll see if Blue Mountain does recover the ball. So it'll be first down for Blue Mountain on the Tornadoes' 37-yard line.
So you want to keep an eye on some of these guys as the second half progresses, because you're looking at the future here. You're going to see these kids making the big plays in the next couple of years for you. Big hole.
Big hole, but stopped in there nicely by Joe Greco. He held his ground, waited for him to come to him, and took him down.
Took him square on there. He doesn't shy away from a hit either.
Blue Mountain coming around the right side. Nice stop in there, and the initial hit made by number 22, Hawkins, and then finished off by...
Number 84, Chuck Mann.
I didn't see the number
No.
off there.
Could have been 44 Bullock. It would have 4 after it. Blue Mountain up the middle. Scott Botero in on the initial hit.
33, Jason.
Now Blue Mountain's just trying to power the football now. You know, their thinking is they got a second unit in there,
Red Tornadoes.
some freshmen playing, and they're just going to try and ram the ball down their throat and see what happens. You know, and again, no matter what happens here, as the game progresses, every minute that these kids are on the field becomes an invaluable experience as their careers progress for Mount Carmel area.
Around the left side, Fantana Rosa was there, and then number 86 made the
Belfani.
final tackle, Bob Belfani.
Dominated by number 86.
You know, Belfani's another guy, just like Swaldy, you know, comes out in his senior year here and made some great plays for Mount Carmel area throughout this year. Good heads-up football by these kids. It just proves that they're great athletes, that they're able to pick a system up so quick and, you know, make the moves that needs to be done.
Hole up the middle there.
Far right.
Good for about a 4-yard gain. Eagles will be facing a second down and about 6.
Now the other good thing, you know, not maybe for us, but at least this Blue Mountain squad hasn't given up. You know, they're down by 38 points or whatever it is now, and at least they're still plugging away, looking for the end zone.
Quarterback on a roll, looking into the corner. He keeps the ball, tucks it away. Kogut misses. Hawkins in on a hit, then finished off by Votero and number 29, Joe Darrop.
I would say one thing, just as an impression of this game. Despite how they're playing, and they're not a sharp football team, but their uniforms have to be the ugliest combination of colors I have ever run across for a football team.
Touchdown, Blue Mountain.
I realize that has nothing to do with a football game, but I'm just making an observation as I watch this game go by me, and those colors are definitely, they hurt your eyes when you're looking at them.
I'm not too sure if it's a mixture between Duke and Penn State. You have that lighter blue and dark
Yeah,
blue.
it's just doesn't make for a good combination, I
No.
don't think, anyway. I don't want to be a fashion expert here, but I would definitely change my uniform.
The extra point try, no good.
Mount Carmel defends that well. They really did. Usually a second unit, you know, wouldn't recognize a two-point conversion play
Right.
because they're always different. But that time they did, and they foiled it.
Score the Red Tornadoes 44, Blue Mountain Eagles 12.
22, Mike Hawkins, receives.
Eagles try a little squibber there. It goes over to the right side and covered nicely by Joe Greco. He did the smart thing, didn't try to
Oh,
pick
yeah.
it up and fell on the ball.
You also saw back there Jeremy Blossy, who's a sophomore, and Quist Sweetra, number 3, a freshman, are also back there.
The Tornadoes are mounting some impressive team statistics also. They have 2,235 total net yards as compared to the opposition's 1,625. So that's some good offensive power that the Tornadoes are showing. There's Hawkins with the ball again. He's putting himself together a nice little game today.
Yeah, he sure is. He's everything they said he would be, and maybe more. He's running hard. That's what you like to see. He's a good hard-nosed runner. One guy, as the same with Mazzatessa, one guy doesn't bring him down.
That's the end of the third quarter, no?
Yeah, that'll be the end of the third.
Score, Red Tornadoes 44, Blue Mountain Eagles 12. Shedleski's still in a quarterback, rolls left and hit in there. Ball pops loose, but boy, he was jarred hard.
Yeah, he didn't see the hit coming is what happened. The kid came up from behind him there. He was looking downfield and hit him before he had a chance to react.
Eagles take over the ball on about the 24-yard line.
That's just good experience for Bryant, though. That's something he's going to remember now as he goes through his career, and he obviously has a shot at being starting quarterback next year. For the Big Red. So it's a learning experience for all these young men out there right now, and that's what you like to see.
Nice play. Actually, it was a better play. Joe Greco was in for the reception.
He looked very good.
That's right. He got under the receiver, and the receiver actually probably almost interfered with him.
Yeah, I think he's got the makings of a great career for Big Red as he comes along. Just being a freshman, we've seen him, play in different ball games throughout the year. This is probably his most exposure at one given time, but. Each time he's in there, he's shown flashes, that he's going to be a fine athlete. And he comes from good stock, which is the other thing you're looking for.
That's right. Blue Mountain, Madera back to pass again. Looks over the middle. Oh, stuffed nicely by Jamie Bullock.
Oh, he tattooed him. And he's down, too. He took a vicious hit. Yeah, that had to hurt him. Oh, Bullock just lined him up and let loose.
That's just how it's supposed to be played, though. That was the perfect defensive play on that pass.
I'm sure that guy on the ground might have a different opinion of that.
Blue Mountain coming this side with the T-man. And tackle made by Scott Paul and number 86, Bob Belfani.
Let's take a moment to run you down some of the defensive statistics. Basically in total tackles, as we told you before, Startzel leads the team with a whopping 68 total tackles. He's followed by Quinn, who has on the season 50. Delbo follows him with 49. Then comes Fantini with 41. Kovalevsky with 32. Swaldy with 32. Wislowski 31. Maher 26. Shedleski 25. Bullock 20. Machuzak comes in with 14. Kogut 21. Greco 14. Darrop 13. So you see everybody pretty much has a hand in each game here. And the number you look at here with this Kogut, here is 21 tackles already. And he's only really played maybe 2 full games, under his belt. So that's a phenomenal number for him.
Blue Mountain gets the first down, and they have the ball first down and 10 on the 23-yard line.
I think one of the things you look at with Startzel with 68 total tackles on the year is that 36 of them, fully 36 tackles, are listed as unassisted.
Great play by Jason Fantini. He just stuck with the quarterback and dropped him, looked like back on the 30-yard line, but they've moved the ball back up to the 28.
He's obviously been watching his brother play.
I think so. He is just charging in there. Pitch back to number 34, Jason Stripe.
Good hit there by Darrop again.
Joe Darrop's playing that corner awful strong.
Snatching the ball to the 25-yard line.
Pass by Blue Mountain, picked off in there by number 22 Hawkins, and he's coming up the sideline, and he brings it to about the 42-yard line.
Nice defensive play, really was.
Beautiful play by the Hawk.
Heads up football there, and this guy really showing us some football tonight on both sides of the ball.
That's right. He's playing some good ball. Hawkins takes the ball, and he's good for about a 2-yard gain.
Well, we have a little bit of time here. We want to send a
giving
special,
the ball away.
We want to send a special little message out to a good friend of ours, and I'm sure anyone who's been a Mount Carmel fan. And we want to say a big hello to Steve Hamola. Steve's a little under the weather with an illness, and he hasn't been able to make the Mount Carmel games this year. And as you know, he's pretty much the superintendent of the press box at Mount Carmel home games. And we just want to say we miss you, Steve. We wish you the best, and hurry back soon. We'll be waiting for you.
We miss all the candy. Steve always has the candy in his pocket to keep
Yes, he
everybody
Yeah.
going up there, and it's been a rough year in the press box without you, Steve. We look forward to seeing you and having you back next year.
Yeah, we're saving your spot for sure.
It's there. Eagles bring the ball up. And they're starting to get some of their people in now, too.
Yeah,
Warren.
I
you
think
see
so,
a lot
yeah.
of new numbers there. Tackle made by number 81, Koch, and number 53, Fantana Rosa.
The ball in the 47. Goes down 4.
Eagles back to pass. Lets one go long. Intercepted by Joe Greco. And he's brought down on about the 38-yard line. He's playing some nice defensive backfield there.
He's certainly making the most of his opportunity.
Yes, he
We'll have to
is.
say that for him.
2 interceptions for Joe Greco.
Greco returning the ball to about the 38.
Well, that's going to put Joe with the leaders in interceptions so far this year, which is good for him. And he's right up there now. It's 2 for this game.
Shedleski pitches back to Hawkins, coming around the left side. Knocked out of bounds right about the 49-yard line. And Hawkins is putting a game together today. He looks really good. He's running very hard.
One of the other statistics we'll bring to you now, where we're just talking about tackles and assisted tackles and all, you find that Delbo and Fantini are tied with 11 tackles apiece for minus yardage, which means they got someone in the backfield. Both of them did it 11 times on the season so far. And in Fantini's case, you'd expect that. I would have thought he would be the leader in it. Delbo kind of snuck up on me there with 11
That's right.
for minus yards. So both of those people, you can tell how their defensive skills by those numbers.
Bullock had a beautiful run up the middle there, faked everybody out on that play. There it comes back again. This time, a quick handoff up the middle to number 47, Fantini, and he puts on some nice yardage. And it looks like these younger Tornadoes can really move the ball, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a good-looking group of guys out there right now.
Hawkins with the ball, breaks off a tackle, and then the host of Blue Mountain players get him there. He's still not down, though. Look at that.
Good second effort.
He's on his feet.
Yeah, good second effort there.
Third down and 5.
Shedleski pitches to Hawkins, going to the left side, and he's taken out of bounds there at about the 33-yard line. Shedleski to Hawkins again. The Tornadoes right now aren't really running anything other than to run the clock out. I mean, they're just keeping it on the ground up the middle. They're trying to run that clock down.
Yeah, well, you're not going to see anything fancy. Obviously, you get a second unit in, they're just trying to mesh together right now, and do the best they can. And they're doing an admirable job. They really are. But you're not going to see a lot of different plays here, I don't think. I think, number one, I don't think Coach Demnick wants to run the score up here either. That's a concern, I'm sure, of his. You don't want to do that to a team that's obviously, down on its luck right now in this game. But we're not sure if we're going to see Blue Mountain again. At the moment, Blue Mountain's trying to end the series with us, we understand. They'd like this to be the last game with us. But unless I think the way it's looking now, unless we can find a replacement, and we are trying to do so, unless we do, they're going to have to play us one more year in the contract, which would be up in the Mount Carmel Area High School Stadium, and then that would end our relationship with Blue Mountain in football.
Sweeter up the middle, good for about a 3-yard gain after a little busted play. Again, the Sweetra. Another 2-yard gain, and he's running the ball very nicely too.
Well, all these guys, and obviously, if you've watched these guys as freshmen and sophomores, you know what they can do.
That's
on
right.
the freshman and JV teams. Maybe not so much the freshmen. They're a little bit surprising how well they're playing because you just don't see them a lot. But some of these JV guys that are in now, that are sophomores, and some of them are pretty big. You got some nice sized guys out there who you're gonna see them lifting weights throughout the season, throughout the summer. And as with Startzel, who came back this year and looked so phenomenal after a big year weightlifting on, look at the season he's having. The same with these kids. They're all showing flashes of being good athletes here, and you're going to see some of them with perseverance over the season as their weightlifting goes, or maybe they go out for track, whatever the sport they're involved in. They're going to come back and be 2 or 3 times better as they progress in their career. And that's any high school kid's the same way. From one year to the next is like night and day sometimes for them. So, you're looking at the future, and the future looks very bright for Mount Carmel area.
43, Mongrain carries the ball for Blue Mountain, and he's pulled out of bounds by number 82, Tracy Harvey.
Tracy's a junior for the Red Tornadoes this year. Some more little statistic for you. On a season, Weslowski's attempted 101 passes. He's completed 45. He has 45 incompletions. 3 are listed as dropped, and he has 8 interceptions. The yards gained are 740 yards passing so far. The average gain per pass is 16.4. And that's a
Touchdown, Blue
touchdown
Mountain.
you see there. He's thrown for this game for 6 touchdowns, and he has a 45% rating as a passer right now. 45% of his passes are complete, and that's a pretty good number for a high school quarterback. In PAT attempts, point after touchdown attempts, he's attempted 6, and he's made 5. So we're very productive in that area. I think we talked about that in an earlier game. We do quite well there. You're seeing Shedleski in the game, and his numbers are obviously quite low. He hasn't played that much, but he's throwing at 50% right now. And again, that's a good number.
And they get the 2 extra points. But right now,
They needed them.
nothing counts. That's right. It
Can't
doesn't
begrudge him
matter.
those right now.
With 1:28 left in the game, the score 44 for the Red Tornadoes. Blue Mountain squibs a kick, and I think that's the kick they should have started with in the...
Yeah.
Hawkins takes the ball on the up man, and he's knocked out of bounds on about the 41-yard line.
43, Chris Mondre making the stop.
In the receiving department, you see John Quinn. There was 31 pass attempts made to him. He caught 16 of them for 236 yards in yards gained on passing. Chicatano had 33 attempts to him. He had 10 completions to him for 197 total yards. So those 2 guys, at least in total yardage, are the leading receivers right now for Mount Carmel area as we go into this game. Of course, those numbers will change, as our ace stat man, Jose Gonzalez, changes this and gives us the stats for next week's game.
I think you'll see some offensive stats added on
Oh,
to
you're
this,
going to see
to this list.
some definite big numbers coming up here as we add these numbers up. And again, most of the players, the front line players, played only one half of football.
Blassie hands off to Bullock for the final play of the game, and it was a tough one for Blue Mountain. They just couldn't get anything going whatsoever. Final score, Red Tornadoes 44, Blue Mountain Eagles 20.
All right, as the game ends, and again, it was a big Mount Carmel win, quite a lopsided win. Blue Mountain never threatened in the game. They did not look like they were going to do much at all in the game, except for one touchdown in the first half. All their points came against our second and third squads as they gained some experience and got some valuable playing time. One of the highlights you want to look at is, again, we talked about this young Hawkins guy. He's a junior, number 22. He was the high rusher for the game. He had 15 carries for 66 yards and, of course, one TD, which is good numbers for one half of football. Actually, he rushed for more yardage than Mazzatessa did in the first half in yards rushing. Mount Carmel overall rushed 40 times for 192 yards. They passed 3 of 11 for 57 yards, which they didn't need to pass, so they didn't. Blue Mountain rushed, and again, that's a little deceiving because they rushed 37 times for 139 yards. 133 of those yards was in the second half against the second team. They had 6 yards total in the entire first half. They passed one time of 9 for a total of 35 yards throughout the whole game. So, although the 139 looks, like a big number here compared to our 192, it really wasn't. They were never in the game, and it's a game you're a little bit worried about. You don't know, what you're going to do against a team that only had 2 wins coming into it. Let's face it. These kids aren't dumb. They look at records and see what they're looking at, too.
That's right. And you're just not sure you can get the kids up for that kind of game. There's always breaks that can go against you, things that can happen that just make, a game turn around and make a team that only has 2 wins play an excellent football game. It didn't happen today. It was, Mount Carmel all the way, and just some impressive plays, some beautiful run backs by Mazzatesta, some extremely good running by Hawkins, some great cornerback play by everybody, by Joe Darab, by Joe Greco, by Jamie Bolick, everybody, and Weslowski on a beautiful safety play that was going to be a touchdown. Yeah. There was just some great defensive play back there. Good play from the offensive line. The initial surge of our offensive line was amazing to watch today. I mean, they were up against a team that wasn't as good as them, but they did play a great game. And then the defensive line just held their own ground like they always do. Going into the next 2 games, Warren, we have West Hazelton and Chickalimi. West Hazelton being this Friday night. And I think we're into the same situation here. A team probably a little bit better than Blue Mountain, but not the quality of some of the schools we've played this year.
Well, they're a smaller class school to begin with. Now, they do come in with a 5-2 record. They had won a championship, I think, 2 years ago. They were champions of their division. But obviously, you look at West Hazelton, and your first thought is not quite as good. Now, the other thing you're going to look at is we haven't played West Hazelton for quite some time. If you remember back in the early 70s, middle 70s, they were a big rivalry for us going up there and them coming down here. We stopped playing football for whatever reason. We ended our relationship. Most of it was because they dropped down. Where they're playing us now, Mount Carmel area's got to remember one thing. They are now the odds-on favorite, at least the way it looks, the odds-on favorite for a wild card berth in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're also in the thick of the running, and I guess the second team tied with them and Nazareth in a district playoff
District 11, right.
So they're looking at postseason play. They've got to look at West Hazelton in the same way they did Blue Mountain. They've got to win. They've got to play tough. They can't let up. They've got to go through the full game or the half game, whatever it comes out to be, playing a tough football game. And again, they look down the road then to Chickalimi, and there's a school much bigger than they are. Traditionally have given us some very good games. Maybe they don't have the record again this year. They're kind of down. But they're an A division team, a Southern Division team. A loss to them will ruin everything. So you got to keep your head up, your spirits up. You got to keep focused more than anything on what you want, and more than anything, they want to go to postseason play. So winning is the only way to get there.
Well, that about wraps it up for tonight. We look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday night. And Uncle Steve, we're looking forward to seeing you back in the press box as soon as you can.
Get well soon, buddy.
Good night.
Good night.